tensions between Israel and Palestine have been on the rise in the last few weeks. And yet again, for the second year running, during the holy month of Ramzan, the tensions seem to have boiled over. According to the latest that has come in, at least about 100 people are said to have been injured when the Israeli security forces decided to breach the Haram al-Sharif compound and carry out a raid at the Al-Aqsa Mosque. This is the first face-off in the area since the beginning of Ramzan. About a little over 10 days ago, the Israeli police has said that dozens of masked men had marched into the mosque, chanting, and then had set off fireworks before throwing stones towards the western wall. Now, this, of course, is considered the holiest site where Jews can, of course, pray in the compound. The Israeli police claims that at least about 3 of their officers have been hurt in the clashes. Now remember, tensions are on the rise because the state of Israel has been carrying out raids deep inside of the Palestinian territory. It's also carrying out arrests inside the West Bank after 4 attacks in the state of Israel over the course of the last 3 weeks, in which about 14 people were killed. Now, some of the attacks in Israel were carried out by the Arab citizens linked to the Islamic State group, while others were by the Palestinians that were cheered by the militant group Hamas. Now, in that same period, over 18 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli forces who've been conducting raids deep inside the Palestinian territories, including children. Now, the site of today's clashes is the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which happens to be the 3rd holiest site in the whole of Islam. The Jews refer to it as the Temple Mount in reference to the 2 temples that they claim stood there in antiquity. This very compound has been at the heart of the Israeli-Palestine conflict last year as well, again during the month of Ramzan, where on the night of Laylatul Qadr, the Israeli forces decided to storm inside the Haram al-Sharif and carried out a raid that resulted in a lot of violence. It set off an 11-day war between the state of Israel and Hamas that controls the Gaza Strip. The Israelis carried out relentless bombing of the Palestinian territories that resulted in the deaths of over 260 Palestinians. And about 13 Israelis also reportedly lost their lives in this escalation that took place again during the month of Ramzan last year, and this time around as well, during the holy month, the tensions are on the rise again. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.